I remember I was weeping. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink. I would just sit by the river and cry and cry and cry. It was so painful. I felt I cannot handle this. I didn't know what to do in my life. I didn't have a direction. I couldn't see any hope. And I was so lonely. I was so lost.
Kamila, a very warm welcome. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
So you have a deep story, amazing story to share. I'm so excited to hear it. But before we do, tell us just a little bit about yourself so we get to know you just a little bit.
I'm Kamila. I'm coming from Lithuania, a small Baltic country in Europe. I grew up there, and at this moment I'm in Portugal with my family.
Amazing. So where does your story begin?
Well, when I was 5 years old, me and my mom decided to go on the journey to our villa house by the lake. And during that drive, I remember myself saying, I want to sleep. And I went to sleep. And unfortunately, she got asleep while driving the car. And this is when the accident happened. And the next memory is that one of the men is coming to pick me up and bringing me to a hospital. And then my dad and my brother, they coming to pick me up from the hospital. And my mom was not there with me. And nobody was explaining why. And after a few days, I came back home from outdoor play. And I saw my daddy and brother kneeling on the floor by the bed, and they were crying, and they said that I lost my mom. And I would lie if I say that I was sad, because I wasn't. And during the funeral, I was not crying. It felt like everything is happening not to me, but this is like a bad movie. And I kind of denied it and suppressed it. And I even lost all the memories about my mom, about the first 5 years of my life. I couldn't remember anything. And in less than 1 year, my father, he married second time, and a new family formed. And that was stressful as well, I guess, because it was a new life. I remember that I changed. From being wild and free child, I became very, very shy, depressive, and closed. So when I got the opportunity, being only 14 years old, I decided to get a job. And I got a job in a summer camp, being able to spend all the summertime outside of my family. And I really liked it, being free in the nature, by the sea, making new friends, and being alone, I guess. Unfortunately, that time, this is where I was introduced into alcohol and smoking. And I found comfort in that. I would smoke because I felt like a relief in that process. And I got highly addicted to smoking. And this is how I grew up. And when I reached the years of university, I left my hometown and I went to the capital of the country, and I entered university and studied psychology. And I chose this profession because of my stepmother, actually, because I managed to save their marriage. So she thought that I could be someone great to help. to help for people. So that's a good profession for me. And I really didn't know exactly what I want to do in life. So I thought this is a good choice. And I remember it was extremely difficult to study this subject. And when I look back, I believe that because it touched my deepest wound and I couldn't solve that myself by my own effort. And I had a lot of resistance, and I just was difficult to wake up even in the morning and to go to studies, to go to university. So that was also the time I met new friends. And some of them, they owned nightclubs. And this is another chapter of my life when I was introduced to drugs. And I thought, that time I didn't feel like it's something wrong or that this is addiction. I thought this is something very cool. So we would party so hard that sometimes I would not sleep for 7 days in a row. And I felt that this is something very, very fun. And the reason why I liked these parties is because I felt free. I was not shy, I felt freedom, and I was not afraid to love. I remember that I was able to connect with people, and they liked me, and I thought this is something, some sort of fulfillment. However, it was so heartbreaking because the health was neglected, and at some point I really wanted to escape that lifestyle, but I couldn't find strength to do that. And I didn't know what to do, actually. I felt like I'm so lost into that darkness and there is no way out. So I remember before going to sleep, I started to dream about a prince, a savior who's coming to save me. And I was just imagining these stories that I go on the bus to my work, and then I meet him in the bus and we fall in love, and then something wonderful happens to me and a completely new life. And it happened to me, but not in a bus, because he was driving a sports car and he was extremely handsome and he was so awesome, he was so successful, and he was just a perfect man. And I fell in love so quickly with him. And actually he was the one who took me out from that party life, and I followed him to another city and I moved to Dubai. And in Dubai, a new chapter started in my life. And from the outside, it looked so perfect. We're just beautiful couple living on the beach, driving sports cars, having that fancy lifestyle. I managed to get a very good job. I was selected among many, many people, and I got a job in fashion house Gucci. And we end up working a lot. And then that desire came to fix myself, that now this is the time I need to fix myself. And I got obsessed about the healthy lifestyle, about the healthy eating. I tried raw diet, vegan diet. I started yoga. I started to do the extreme sports. At some point, I would starve because I felt like I'm not good enough. And then I end up developing a really serious stage of bulimia, when I would be so stressful, I can just eat 5 chocolates in a row and then throwing up, and then feeling so guilty and shameful and just such a loser. And the problem was that I was so lonely because of the language barrier. for me was very difficult to find friends. And Thomas, he was building my boyfriend at that time, he was building his career. So he was working a lot and I was working a lot. And we lived in the same house, but we would not see each other for 3 days in a row because of the different schedules of life. So all of that led to the breaking point when he said that it's time to divorce because we are not happy. We have everything what we dreamed about, but we are not happy with this life. And then I gave him a suggestion. Like, we never spend time together. Let's just go on holidays and let's try to find out. Maybe we can fix it. And he agreed. And we went on holidays to Thailand. And this is the time when we tried the mushroom shake. And we really fell in love with each other. We felt like kids.
A mushroom shake, is this like a psychedelic mushroom shake?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
We were just selling that mushroom magic shake in the cafe. Some friends recommended us and we decided to try that. And that really brought us close. And we thought this is really fun. We felt like two children walking on the street, holding our hands and just falling in love with each other. And everything seemed so beautiful, so colorful. All problems just disappeared. And so that brought us kind of together. And that was the time when something started to open up. Something started to open up spiritually. And that was the moment when we understood that there is something more in life. And that was like a hook. We decided to find out what is that more in life. And after this trip, we went to Peru. And in Peru, we got ourselves into the shaman circle. And we tried ayahuasca, another ancient psychedelic medicine. And the spiritual realm, the spiritual world opened up even more for us. And we decided that this lifestyle in Dubai doesn't serve us at all, and that we want freedom. We want to discover what is life is about, what is something else. Everything was so new, so exciting, so interesting. So we left everything behind in Dubai. No matter that my boyfriend had a really good growth in career, we just decided to leave everything, and we got engaged, and we moved to Bali. And in Bali, we were on the mission to find out the truth. We were on the mission to find freedom and to heal fully, to heal ourselves. So we went on the journey of trying all sorts of new age medicine. I got really involved into yoga, into meditation, and the spiritual world opened up for me the big time. I started to see visions. I started to see angels. I started to communicate with someone higher and something what was unseen. And that was so exciting for me. And at some point, I understood that my life is happening more in a spiritual realm than in the natural. And I noticed sort of a disconnection between that. And this is the time when actually things, I thought that things are getting better for me, but actually it started to go in a negative side. And we got very separated with Thomas on our own spiritual things. And then financial troubles came in, and I could not break the smoking addiction. I kind of was better. I was not sick with bulimia anymore, but still my self-view was not healthy, and we end up in breaking up. So my fiancé, he broke up with me. This was the most difficult time in my life, and it was just the feeling that I lost someone I love again, and it reminded me the loss of my mother. And for 3 days, I remember I was weeping. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink. I would just sit by the river and cry and cry and cry. It was so painful. I thought I cannot handle this. I didn't know what to do in my life. I didn't have a direction. I couldn't see any hope. And I was so lonely. I was so lost. After 3 days, something supernatural happened to me. During my sleep, I woke up in the middle of the night from the feeling that someone is hugging me from the back. Surprisingly, I couldn't move my body, but I was fully awake. My consciousness was fully awake. I was a little bit scared because I'm a woman alone laying in the bed, and I sensed that there is a man hugging me from the back. And then at some point, I could start to move my body again, and I turned around, and then that man was not in the bed anymore, but he's lying down next to the wall. I could see his back, and he was wearing the white clothes, and his head was lifted towards the sky. It was so real, it was so tangible that I thought, like a random man came into my bedroom, and I got scared, and I said, just leave me, leave me, leave me. And he just vanished, disappeared. I couldn't believe what's happening to me. I was walking around the room, trying to find him. Thought I'm dreaming, or this is real, this is happening. And I went to sleep again, and the next morning I woke up. All pain was gone. I felt joy, and I felt hope that somehow everything will be okay for me. At that time, I was really worried about money because I was dependent from my fiancé. And then the first thing in the morning, what I did, I went to put the petrol into my bike. And the guy put the petrol and said, just go. I said, what? Why are you not taking money from me? He said, just go, just leave, just drive. And then the same day, I received a text message from my fiancé asking me to meet in the cafe, and as he asked me if I'm willing to meet him again. And I said yes, and I think the same week we got together, and he gifted me a golden retriever puppy. That was my dream, and we named him Cusco. By the city we got engaged. And and I was not thinking too much about what happened to me. I was just happy, I felt peace, I felt joy, I felt like everything is just moving in my life great. And very soon we took another property to live, which was a boutique hotel. And we started to run a boutique hotel together. We started to hold retreats, wellness retreats together. And in one of the retreats, after 6 months, my fiancé, he came to me and he said that he had a divine visitation. That Jesus himself, Jesus Christ, visited him and spent 2 hours with him in His glorious light. And He shared that with me, and with all my being, I knew this is truth. I didn't have a single question to ask. I knew that I know that I experienced that, and this is truth. This is the truth we were looking for so long and in so many places. And then the journey with Jesus started, and it's been so amazing.
Amazing. And so the journey with Jesus continues. And what have been some real key moments for you that have really strengthened your faith or your relationship with Jesus along the journey?
It's definitely finding the gospel of grace and understanding the true message, what Jesus did on the cross, that He died for our sins and that He forgave all. And it means that God is not angry with us, but He loves us dearly, that He wants all good things for us, not bad things for us, that He doesn't send any accidents, He doesn't hurt us, but He loves us and He leads us into the thriving life.
Beautiful, beautiful. And having, as someone that knows you, I know now your faith has really gone to some high heights in the last years, and you have now lots of different encounters. The supernatural life is very real for you. Is there anything you'd like to share now about what is it to move in the supernatural as a Christian compared to when you were in the shamanic, in the New Age? How would you say it's different?
God gives all. So He gives the supernatural, and He gives the wisdom, the revelation, and He explains things. So the more we grow in the Lord, we truly understand what's really going on. And He gives us the spiritual freedom. So in New Age, we are like slaves and we don't understand what's happening, and all of different spirits, they can use you. But with Jesus, we have freedom with Him, in Him, and at the same time we have a protection. So no one else can actually use us because we belong to Jesus. And what is very, very important, that Jesus cares about the supernatural, spiritual growth, but it's so connected with the natural life. He gave me a family. He gave me a husband now. He gave me 3 kids. He gave me an amazing Christian community I never had before. And He also unlocked me in my profession. So the creativity started to flow through me. I started to create. I started to produce actual work. So what Jesus gives is the fullness of life in all areas of life. He's the source of everything good. He's the source of healing. He's the source of deliverance. He's the source of all types of gifts.
Amazing. Kamila, thank you so much for taking the time to share your story with us. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.